Hello, and welcome to a gameplay-driven version of Dev Heads. Sorry, listeners.
Gameplay-driven version, spoken like a true designer, Jay.
I know, right?
As
Welcome
opposed
to
to a systems-driven stream.
I know, right? Welcome to Dev Heads. We're missing Tina currently. It's just me and Mikey, but she shall be here shortly. Today, we are checking out a game that originally Mikey was going to be playing, but we ran into some issues that cannot be fixed. It's something to do with the BIOS and motherboards and stuff like that. It's nothing we can touch right now. But to be safe than sorry, so I'm going to be driving today and playing. But the thing is I've completed the game, so I'm going to be trying to not spoil too many things or talk about any end game stuff. So if you're here, we're going to be playing from the beginning. We're going to be looking at it with fresh eyes, and it's going to be, largely driven by my gameplay, but Mikey and Tina, when she arrives, she'll be here shortly. Their questions and, their divings into what it is. So someone says, apparently Jemate is not a fan of this one. I'm interested to hear this convo.
Yeah, I don't know much about your opinion, Jay. We had like 2 conversations about it, and in both, I think we were like, wait, no, let's save it for the stream. I'm obviously maybe not obviously. I'm a pretty big Doom fan. I gush about the Hideous Destructor mod for Doom 1 and 2 recently a lot, on DevHeads especially. I wasn't like historically a Doom fan. I was a little too young. I think I kind of missed the boat. Half-Life was more my stuff, the post-Doom, post-Quake era of FPS. But I kind of got back into it recently through Hideous Destructor, but also just in general, exploring the modding scene, the vanilla content. And I have always mentioned here on stream how I appreciate the innovations the series has had over the years. Oh, we're starting though, so we'll get into all of that.
Yeah, no, I agree with you though.
My expectations.
I agree with you in a lot of instances. A lot of the opinions I have on this game are due to a lot of the things that happen later in the game, so it's difficult for me to fully speak on without spoiling things. But for people who do want a deep dive into my gripes with the design of this game, I have a double-length design delve coming out on Monday. Yeah, it's twice the length of a usual episode because I have a lot of things to say.
Oh shit. Okay. We're off to a good hellish start.
Yep, we've got, pentagrams in the sky.
I couldn't tell if those were tracers or embers. Played a lot of shooters. For the chest, huh?
Get him.
Jay, can you stream your audio to me?
Is it not doing the audio?
No, not getting the audio.
Give me a hot second. This might mess up the cameras, but I will fix it for you. 1 second, everyone. I'll make sure that Mikey gets a good experience here.
Someone in the chat, skip cutscenes. Please bear with us. I want to see the cutscenes. Part of the point of this is to get a sort of uninitiated, fresh look on everything.
So you should be able to see a preview. You should be able to see a dedicated stream now on Discord. So the audio should be on in there for you.
All good. Perfect. Thank you.
Why am I playing on gamepad? Because haptic feedback carries most of this game, so I want to make sure I get that. You ain't getting that in the mouth. As much as I usually play shooters on mouse and keyboard, this game also has a huge emphasis on not really caring about aim too much. So, due to its mechanics that it introduced. So, for me, it just feels a little bit more immersive and nicer to play on controller for now.
So we've got radios, like earpiece radios, huh?
Yeah, so this is a prequel, and they've kind of delved into like this. It's kind of like you're on a pseudo medieval planet, not necessarily that it is medieval. So everyone has
medieval vibes,
yeah,
medieval times, as we say nowadays.
It's like everyone's in cosplay basically. It's like demons have invaded while all of the space jockeys were at a LARP.
We need him. Can you hear me now?
I wonder who they could be talking about.
Oh, Tina, what's up?
Hi.
Hi, Tina.
Just gonna
Sorry, I'm
check
late, everyone.
All good.
if anything's wrong with Tina or Mikey's video placement and or audio. Just let me know, guys, because I'm currently hosting a stream and playing, so I need to kind of juggle both. But if everything's fine, then we're all good. How you doing,
I'm zooming
Tina?
in on myself. I got it.
Oh, sweet.
Including your Sentinel energy reserves.
Thanks for starting early, everyone. It's my fault this time. So I appreciate
Launch the Slayer.
Beep bop beep bop boop. Launch
Alright,
the
so
big
this
boy.
game, Doom came out today.
Last night, I believe, to
Last night.
the world. But if you paid money or were a filthy journalist, you had it for a while.
Filthy journalist.
I mean, that I can say that because I technically am one.
Alright, I'm pulling up the YouTube chat to see the comments.
Introduced
Hi,
the most powerful
George
weapon in the
Lucas.
game, the shield, that he somehow forgets about for the other two games.
So did you play
Well-
this already, Jay?
I've fully completed it. I've nearly finished my like massive episode on like video on this game. I'm finishing it today. So yeah, my last week has been extremely doom filled. To my detriment, because I don't like this game.
Oh, okay. I didn't know you full on straight up don't like it. Interesting.
Oh, I won't go into the details.
We'll
have
see. We'll
very
see. Sorry. Here we
yeah.
are the third time, like about to roll into it. Okay. We're at the
Yeah,
title
I have
card.
I have
Almost there.
very few nice things to say about this game.
Wow. Okay. Well, let's get into it.
Oh, the cinematic is pretty.
Oh yeah, they're stunning.
Let's look at the UI.
I'm a fan, of course, of the where you have a small arm in in the right hand, like a gun, and a shield in the left. That's
Yeah,
already
yeah.
fun.
So yeah, I just tried to use like other abilities that you get at the end, like throughout the game, but I forget that it's trying to
Sure.
like onboard me. So I'm like, why can't I throw my
You're
shield?
You're getting tutorialized.
I'm
aren't
getting
you?
I'm getting tutorialed all over this bid.
You're getting fatooied. Does everybody
No.
know what fatooey is?
Not the fatui.
Let's see if people in the chat know if it's too inside baseball. Shield block, lock on.
Yeah.
Okay, you got a bash.
So we got
That's-
like a bash that has a short cooldown. Really nice game feel. Again, I was talking about the haptics. Red attacks that you're seeing need to be blocked or moved.
Right.
Move from. When you shield bash, you kill things in an area around you, which is really nice. Because there are swarms and swarms of enemies. And this is what I was kind of talking
Interesting,
about.
it's
Someone in
kinda
chat.
Like in God of War, they
Tina, half of my video is talking about how I think the devs played God of War and were like, wow, let's do that. But not
Yeah.
quite understanding what made God of War fun. So we'll see. We'll get into more of that. And when I say all of this, I don't want it to mar anyone's opinion on, like, if you enjoy this game and you've played it and you love it, more power to you.
Man, you're a critic. We all know the score.
And I'm
said there's a
specifically a
cooldown on the
design critic, right?
Yeah.
on the shield ability, the one where you charge. Where's
Yeah.
that cooldown on the screen?
Yeah, I was looking for that too. I almost didn't see it.
I don't think I've ever noticed if there is one. It's kind of just like if you try and do it again, the symbol to bash doesn't appear.
There's a symbol that pops up.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so there's a red
You see it?
circle
The
that'll
red and-
appear
yeah.
on the
Oh,
enemy.
the reticle. Okay, so it's not. So it's not really.
So I'm
Couple
playing the
little
game on a
icons,
harder difficulty than I did when I played. I always, whenever I play for content like videos, I always play on the normal difficulty to see what
'cause
the
you're
developers assume is a reasonable amount of difficulty. But
Okay,
I've
the
bumped
limbs
it
fall
up.
off. You gotta like that part, right?
The limbs, yeah, limbs falling
Jay,
off.
the
is
limbs
good.
coming off.
There are small
Sure.
things I like, but I'm talking about like design and gameplay flow and stuff like that. There are some things that I think it's done really well and is a natural evolution of this game. Like we're going to get into it in a little bit. This game introduces parrying, which is I think the next step for this game. The series, I mean. I think it's very natural. It feels very good. But it all comes down to difficulty and stuff like that.
I'm enjoying the medieval comms chatter.
Yeah. Here's a gauntlet.
Read it. What did they say?
They just say, "Oh, dragons! Oh, watch out!" Stuff like that. Yeah, we didn't like pick up anything. It's just people talking in game. Tina, you should be able to see a preview of the stream, but there's also a stream of the game itself, which will have audio. If you want to listen to the game as well.
I see. Okay, girl.
I see people in the chat. Nobody knew what FTUE. FTUE is an acronym. FTUE. First time user experience.
Hell
That's
yeah.
what we mean when we say FTUE. So it's tutorialization, the FTUE. Jay's getting hardcore onboarded right now.
I am, yeah. And the FTUE, as I've spoken about in my episodes a lot, is extremely important. You can lose a lot of your player base by having a pretty weak FTUE.
Can you shoot both of his arms off?
I could have tried. The tutorial wants me to triple punch them.
I see.
I can try though. Oh no, actually, I know you can do this because once you play against other enemies, they get these like finishers, right? And one of them I didn't do it because I was preoccupied killing everything else. And the enemy that I didn't finish off had no arms, so he just like stood there and just stared at me until I killed him. That was pretty fun.
Yeah, did they change up the way he attacks, or he's just kind of like dead?
He just stared at me. Like, please finish me off. It was great. So yeah, we're
I'm
also
loving
getting into,
I'm loving the at the bottom. I don't remember this in Doom Eternal or Doom 2016, but the Slayer's face at the bottom of the screen, looking left and right with his moving brows. Right. That's a fun reference. Yeah, I'm surprised they went for that. Actually,
I dig it.
I like it.
So we haven't got into parrying just yet. So the melee's on a charge.
These executions.
Oh yeah, there's no more. Well, there are finishers, but they're extremely rare and they're really boring. It's just
really okay.
chop the enemy's head off with the shield, and that's about it.
I want to see.
Yeah, I can't force it. I have to wait.
Yeah. Like this one, or that was the fist.
Yeah, you'll know when you see
video game
it.
projectiles.
Yeah, there's a very bullet hell. So the melee's on a charge. Right? Yeah, that was the gauntlet. The melee's on a charge. Ooh, hit very hard.
Yeah, those are the 3 teardrops or blood drops. Listen to me, teardrops in a game like Doom.
Yeah, ain't no tears here.
How namby-pamby of me.
Let me see. Oh, okay, above the head.
Yeah. So you get 3, and then you could do a free punch that stuns. It's like for 1.
Yeah, and the third hit, if you combo it, does extra damage, which is cool.
Doesn't really indicate that it's on a charge.
Oh, I think it's charges, and you have 3 charges, like each. Yeah.
I believe the symbol in the bottom right, with the R, it fills out. Once it's recharging, so there's a slight so it's good for comboing into these bigger enemies, which is really nice.
Oh, I see. And yeah, the fist disappeared and is charging.
Yeah, the later upgrades. Where do you go?
Do you ever look down there when you're playing?
No.
Yeah, that's what I would imagine.
So I'm trying to get his other arm for you, Tina. Nah, he just died.
You, Tina.
I want to see
okay, let's... Yeah, it's nice that I'm playing on a little bit of a harder difficulty, so I'm...
Do they follow you, though? Like, could you amass an army of enemy AI just following you with no arms?
Armless. Okay, so this is them introducing the parry system.
Okay.
Okay,
So,
makes sense.
Yeah, it's a single button press, and now that they've introduced this, everything that isn't a grunt, like filler enemy, is going to start doing this. And as you upgrade your weapons, so he'll do it, and we can put it back.
And you only parry green ones?
Only parry
or can you
green.
also do the orange ones. Okay.
No, you can only parry that color, whatever it is.
Green
I'm colorblind.
plus signs for colorblind accessibility. Yeah, I was just gonna say exactly. Good of them to do that. Yeah.
Yes,
absolutely.
and I believe you can change it in the options, which I haven't done because it's well signified, so there was no need for me to. But yeah, all enemies that you're gonna carry on.
Oh, go ahead.
All enemies that get introduced are going to have parryable attacks. So this rider, we're going to be able to get... Now it's introducing glory kills, but that's about the extent you're going to get from most enemies.
Ah, I kind of was hoping for a cool finisher there.
Yes, get used to that, because you're going to see that enemy a lot. And the same for like all of the other enemies and bosses they introduce. They're going to be like that. So I don't know why I like to kill those cultists. I just feel like they're a bunch of naughty boys and girls who have been summoning demons into this city. So you might as well punish them, you know.
Well, it's quite an imposition that they put on us here in humanity, Jay.
Right.
I think you have every right to harbor some animosity toward the cultists, some of the demons.
So just like with the previous games, they've like brought back the map, and it is
auto
very
map.
overt of where you need to go and what you need to do. So yeah, there's a lot of like the side activities here. I'm probably not going to jump into. Have you played Oblivion?
Yeah.
Yeah, those gates look very similar to the Oblivion gates.
I was just going to say, wait a minute.
A lot of the side objectives I'm probably not going to go and try and do in this run because I actually completely forgot that show you exactly where to go was a thing. Because I never used it. So the returning aspect of having, you know, damn dude, this mode is definitely harder.
Good.
I'm gonna get over here.
Get them blues.
You gotta get them. Encouraging
In the
you to
hideous
move around the
destructive
map
community,
more.
we call them blues. For those of you who aren't aware. So when you do the charge, are you invulnerable as you move forward? Shield dash.
Yeah, the shield bash. Also, like what I was saying with the enemies, Sovereign is right. Like a lot of the boss enemies that they introduce, interesting. A lot of the boss enemies that they introduce are just buffed up versions of standard enemies, which is cool. I'm losing health like a motherfucker. Let's get that shield.
You know, Jay, I gotta say, so far, I don't have any real objections to our core combat loop here.
No,
seems like there's some innovations.
neither do I. I also think the parrying that they introduce later is... the parrying is a good mechanic. It's just how it's framed and then utilized later on and repeated is kind of...
sure.
repetitive.
Doom Eternal really had, I guess you could say, deepened the dance of Doom 2016. You had all these different abilities that you're managing, replenishing your health, replenishing your ammo, doing the glory kills when you could, doing the chainsawing when you could. So what I feel like I see here is the bones of that already being set up. But I guess we'll see as we play if it goes to that length that Eternal
yeah,
did.
100%. I don't think it does. There's instances later on where you effectively can just use one weapon. You can upgrade a weapon so much that you're not required to use anything else apart from that and the shield. So there's no dance between picking up different ammo types and switching between weapons. There's no the platforming is pathetic, like absolutely
Whoa.
pathetic. I will go deeper into my episode, but there are times during platforming that I felt genuinely insulted as a player. It was
insulted. What do you mean?
Yeah, it's really bad.
Like this
wow.
basic platforming, like what?
I guess you're saying that it was, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, it's difficult because I'm not. This mode I'm playing on is a little bit more difficult.
Two jobs right now: be a gamer and be a design critic.
And also, I'm playing on a harder difficulty with minimal tools that I usually have, so I'm trying to concentrate a little bit. Yeah, how they're signified. You'll see when we get into a lot of the design aspects of the platforming that all of the platforming aspects are heavily signified to the point where you can only climb where the devs see fit, and even when you can do things, they'll not only tell you, you bastard. They'll not only tell you, oh, you need to climb here. They'll also say what ability you need to use based on the signifier they use. So there's no thought process. There's
sure, yeah. It's too streamlined. It's
extremely streamlined.
Ooh, nice move.
It's weird that so I was looking up earlier how they promoted this game. I mean, it's described as a first-person shooter, but I would say it's more of like an action adventure.
Yeah.
There seems to be a lot of melee combat to it, apparently.
Oh, this is nothing. Wait until we get a little bit further.
Yeah.
And then as soon as we can throw this shield, the game is just 90% that. So what I just showed the example of there, of heavy signifiers.
Look at that, wow.
Not only, this is a natural progression of like, okay, so you want to go in this direction. The map is actually designed in a really smart way where it wants to pull you this way. And the player is naturally going to take this upper path to keep high ground. So having an item here is really intelligent. But it has a line coming off of the item and a bigger version of it so you can see it down there.
Wow, interesting.
And this is used everywhere for all of the things they're doing. It feels like this game was made for babies, but is actually an 18 plus, 17 plus blood path.
Well, I can see the developers thinking, you know, we're dealing with an audience that plays primarily shooters, and we're introducing a different type of game to them, so they want to make sure that they get it. But maybe not even when you crank up the difficulty, that stuff stays the same.
That stuff's the same, yeah.
I suppose. Okay, so I think I understand it from their perspective, where this is an action game. This is a balls to the wall, I am a goddamn monster, power fantasy. And you want to keep a certain pace. And while Doom, you know, a staple of Doom is sort of like search for the keys and a little bit of puzzle stuff. Maybe they thought, you know what, we've leaned so hard into and developed so much our combat to the point that like that's so much of the identity of the game. Maybe we will have the keys. We don't want people searching around for them getting lost. Maybe an internal or like closed play testing. People were getting lost and they were like, fuck, like this is totally ruining the pace of our hardcore action game.
I mentioned that in the video of just like playtesting and how they're probably trying to strike a balance for the widest market, which you can't really blame them for. But also, those things aren't adjusted via difficulty. Those things are baked into the game, and the combat is like, and the parrying is one of the best things in this game. Enemy variety and things like that is something that's lacking, in my opinion, to explore that difficulty properly. But the actual exploration and there's a section that I hope we get to. It's very God of War focused, so like being able to have Tina here and talk about it is really fascinating.
Yeah.
But it just
for people who are watching and don't know.
Yeah.
Tina worked on God of War. Sorry, continue.
Yes. And there's a usage of the Leviathan axe that it does. That is.
Whoa, what's that?
Sorry, I gotta appreciate what's happening right now.
It's a big demon getting
I love
scorched.
He's like, oh, get out of here! This bird is shitting fire on me.
But I want to go towards that.
Don't worry, he'll be coming towards
In
us.
due time, I guess. Well said. Sorry, Jay, continue. I had to react.
No, like that is cool. Like that.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes, it is. That is
like
objectively cool. You'll see a lot of things in this game that are objectively cool that is then ruined by how they've done it.
Boot in there.
There's
You
like
nuke 'em 3D style.
getting hit by a lot of things behind me, which is something I never really encountered on the normal difficulty, but it's
I
pretty good.
I thought for a second, oh, I don't like the inconsistency of these projectiles you can deflect, these you can't. But actually seeing you play, it makes it way better. Because it makes you, every second, every moment to moment, you're going to be making harder decisions. When it's like, okay, those ones I got to get around, those ones I can block.
Yeah.
Let me position myself here and carry this. Oh. Yeah, get that health.
Yeah, I've
So
got it.
there was. Oh, okay. So the UI does tell you if you're getting hit from behind, but it's kind of,
It's difficult to
hard
see,
to really-
especially if you're red-green colorblind.
despite everything, yeah. There's no
There's a lot of
colorblind
color
change.
There is, and you can tell they're trying to use symbols. Like the projectors you can deflect are crosses or pluses, and the ones that you can't
And they're
are
green, yeah.
spheres.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think the UI team did a pretty great job. 'Cause there's
Yeah,
a
I can
lot
dig that. I
to-
don't think I have any complaints
Lot going
about
on.
the UI.
Um, if you're interested, or anyone watching, the combat, one of the combat designers, one of the lead combat designers on God of War did a GDC talk about setting up combat spaces and dealing with enemies off camera and how they decided to handle that. Because it is a difficult situation to be hit from behind it. It can be very frustrating for the player when you're
Oh, yes.
what's
Oh,
going
yeah.
on, or are they? I like the way that they solved some of those issues, so I would recommend checking it out.
So, big cool set piece. Let's see how they handle this via gameplay.
Turret segment, huh?
I mean, that's fun.
Wait, what year is it? 2007? We got
No,
a turret
I-
segment in a Doom game.
That- yeah,
secondary.
cool.
Yeah, you build up to the
I
secondary.
like how I love your tracers. Every single bullet is a tracer. It's quite a cool screen. Oh,
Oh, okay. So this is how they.
right in the pelvis, Jay. You say ew, Tina?
Well, that was fun.
Remaining enemy targets have been neutralized.
I see. You're
Okay.
frustrated that there
So
was
that.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Tina. Yeah.
No, I think that is an interesting choice.
Just you wait.
I don't hate it.
I don't hate it. I'm just disappointed, right? Like there is big version of enemy. You get put in a static turret and you hold one button where it's effectively can't miss because all it's doing is slowly walking at you, and you just wait until it's dead.
The makers felt a weapon as
Can you turn
powerful
subs
as
on
Slayer.
too?
Yeah, I can. Okay, cool. I was gonna check if I didn't need to. Where will these be? Controls difficulty.
This
or-
gamer
or
thought.
UI.
This question every gamer asks: are the subtitles in audio, or are
Probably
they in
in
UI, or are they in
audio?
gameplay,
No.
for whatever
Where are
reasons?
they?
Oh
Screen
no!
effects.
Does anybody know where the subs are? Let's crowdsource
Subtitles.
this.
Got them.
There we go.
They're in UI, which is probably where they should be.
Yes.
And you agreed.
Thank you.
Of
Perfect.
us. They want assurances, and so did I.
Why aren't they on by default?
Okay.
Because I turn them off. Because when I'm
I can
filming
see-
to make videos, I don't want subtitles.
I could see why you don't feel good about that turret segment. We're used to big, terrific boss fights that are involved and challenging and extended in Doom, not like point and hold and then alt fire periodically. So I understand.
Well, it just makes
the
those
concern
big enemies feel weak, and it is our first interaction with them, and we're going to interact with them a lot more, and every subsequent interaction we have with them makes them feel weaker. So these gigantic demon enemies begin to feel pathetic, which is the exact opposite of what they want. So I speak about, spoiling a little bit in my video, we talk about like the Worf effect, where strong allies will be defeated by big, strong enemies to signify how strong those enemies are. So when you do defeat them, you understand what it took to take down such a big enemy. They don't do anything of the sort here. They introduce enemies and then immediately show you how weak they are. And you could argue that maybe that's the Doom guy fantasy, right? You're the danger, but you're not really, like, you're just on a turret that any pleb could be using. It's not like your skill or your power. It's just, you know, and that gets, this repeatedly happens throughout the game when they keep introducing new things. So yeah, it's a accumulation of lots of different things. There's no one thing I can point to in this game that is like, this is the issue. It's, for me, a lot of different things coming together. And again, if you like this, more power to you. Like, I'm not saying you're dumb for liking this, right? It's I just made me think the developers think you might be dumb.
We should focus on breaking the humans first.
I see some comments in the chat. Oh, why are there cutscenes here? There should be background lore. There was a little bit of, if not outright cutscenes and like cinematography like we're seeing here. I do remember some of that in Doom Eternal, I think. Not so much in Doom 2016, obviously none in the earlier ones. So I guess I don't really object to that necessarily.
Yeah. Olcron is also saying, yeah, like, why do we have cutscenes? Olcron, you also said, like, turn off your brain and slay demons. That is what 2016 and Eternal to an extent were, or Doom has been forever. But like, it seems like a narrative that takes us too seriously has been attached to this Doom game, to the point where the Doomslayer effectively doesn't engage with it, and things happen around him. You'll see that a lot. It really feels like someone else wanted to make another game and was told to put the Doom IP on it.
The demons are now
It's strange.
Ew, what is that?
That's gluttony, Tina. No, he's a sentinel, so he's not.
It is an energy field which prevents the demons from opening a portal into this world. It doesn't.
Yeah, and when I criticize all of these things, I really, really like Doom 2016. I think it's a really good game. It does everything it sets out to do really, really well.
In the dam, sir.
Eternal,
Yeah.
slightly less, and this even more so.
I think they're just trying to do story in a game that typically doesn't have story, and you don't think that they nailed it this time.
People did praise Doom 2016's opening for specifically not having any cutscenes. You wake up, you have a pistol, and 2 zombies are coming at you, and you're like, wait, is this my casket? What is this? And you're into it.
And that
was a great
thing.
way to experience that world. Yeah.
Agreed. The lack of context was the joke, right? And it continues to be that. Like, there's a scene in 2016 where the Doomslayer, a console starts to exposit to him, so he punches it and then moves on. Like, it's part of the joke. But here, there is a narrative that happens adjacent to the Doomslayer, and the thing is, if you're just going to have something happen adjacent to the main character, at least make it good. Like, take a good story. Like, this story is very generic and like played out, and ugh. Yeah, I have so much to say about this game.
Are they going to explore a little bit here? And this is like mild spoilers, I guess, but just yes or no. Are they going to explore that he's basically become a tool for the Sentinels, being used against the humans?
They explore that.
Docile, almost. Okay.
They explore that, yeah. The depth at which they explore that, I won't go into too much, but they do explore it.
Well, the facial hair looks great, so...
Visually, the cutscene team, they popped the fuck off. It looks great. Visually, it's very, very pretty.
I'm
But like
trying to
context is a
understand
huge thing, right?
what's happening in that cutscene.
Deploying weapon
Exactly, Tina.
It seems like they're just using the Slayer. At this point, the Slayer has become a tool for fighting demons. He's not just like, I think in the original Doom 2016, he was sort of like a contingency who woke up to correct problems with hell.
Yeah.
In this one, it's like he's still awake. So they're like, well, we're just going to use you for our war.
Yeah, he's like a nuclear bomb that you drop, right?
Yeah.
It's
So
like
this
they
shield
took
now can stun enemies.
God of War,
That looks pretty
Master
cool.
Chief, Gears
That's the
of
Chief,
War.
yeah.
Gears of War. You know.
Gotta turn you up, Tina. You're a little quiet for me.
Oh, am I? There.
If she is,
Just a
I
little.
can turn her up on my end as well, so it'll be good for the stream.
I don't know.
Let us know how Tina's levels are. Maybe it's just me. It might just be me.
Now would be a good time. Oh, I thought the enemies were done. So, oh, come on. Oh, wait, it wants me to stun them. Whoops, I haven't been reading.
Someone in the chat says, why is there so much dialogue? Whereas Doom, as we were saying, and someone responds, Doom fans and people talk for 20 seconds. I think the criticism that there's a little too much story that feels a little too expositorily told, if that's a word, is fair. It does feel like a bit of a break in the pacing to screech to a halt and then have all these choreographed cutscenes.
Oh, they're already super.
But I am trying to like be a little warm to it. I acknowledge they kind of shifted in that direction in Eternal, like I was saying a minute ago. So I'm here to explore it at least.
Yeah. I'm really interested to hear your take once you get to sink your teeth into this, because we might have vastly differing opinions. So yeah, talking about like signifiers and telling you what to do. Whenever a shield can be broken, an item can be broken with your shield throw, it will always have this symbol and it will always be heated. Not just that an item that can be broken will be heated and have this color signifier, it will always be this symbol. So you know the exact thing you need to do. Which in some cases is really good because the player can understand. But in others, it becomes, because it's so frequent, it just becomes very, like Simon says. So another thing to do with combat is the fact that these enemies, these shield enemies, cannot be killed with gunfire unless you get around them, which is really difficult. And the shield will do nothing to them. So what you have to do is use your weapon to heat up their shield and then throw a weapon at it. Which is mildly interesting, but then you start to realize, because these enemies are used so frequently, you will walk into rooms and there will be a row of these shielded dudes with their shields already preheated so you can throw a weapon instantaneously. And they are everywhere. So the satisfaction of doing that is completely lost, because you start to notice that these enemies have been laid out to effectively just be traps for the other enemies. Have it. Yeah, and you start to see how effective this shield throw is.
Yeah, it looks quite effective.
Yeah, and this hasn't even, it's got like a multiple upgrade trees. So right now it's showing you, hey, look, you have to heat up the shields. You have to heat up the shields, right? They stop doing that. They just start being preheated. Once you get probably out of this level, if I remember
That's
correctly.
an interesting choice. Yeah, I don't know.
Introduce a mechanic and then remove the use of it.
Right.
Yeah.
You introduce it. It's a. Again, I guess I didn't say it explicitly. I love the moment-to-moment of Doom, all the little decisions and calculations you have to make, the dance, and one of the ways that you create that dance can be like multi-stage enemies, where you can't hurt them. You have to do step A and then you do step B. Step 1 and 2, let's say. So for one, what you're saying is true. Like, to introduce a mechanic and then immediately turn it on its head to be simpler and different is odd. But then also to take a mechanic that was a cool 1-2 style and not have that, I guess I'm just asking myself why. Like, but I guess I'll see in a little bit why I do that.
So again, with the signifiers, you know that this is an area you can climb because scratches. Also, the such a heavily overly signified world means that you no longer need to pay attention to any of the details in the world. You just need to pay attention to the symbols and the colors, which really, you know, stops the player paying attention to what they're looking at or giving a shit about what they're looking at.
I mean, okay, I get what you're saying, but I don't find that that's any different from other games that have been praised, religiously.
Oh well, like
so I'm not ready to like ding. Ooh, I'm not ready to ding for it. Is this an enemy or like a boss battle?
This is an enemy they're introducing.
Okay.
He said as he casually back-fisted or front-fisted. I think I'm okay with a lot of signifying because, again, like we were saying earlier, they're going for a certain kind of pace. But you're right that it does kind of detract from your appreciation of the environment or any feeling of, or much feeling of exploration. So that is definitely a downside of going with that.
Yeah, especially considering, and I again speak about this in my video, all of these areas of exploration and challenge are never incorporated into the combat themselves. They're not used in combat arenas. They're all in between them. So, like, later on we'll find fire hazards that are spewing fire on a timer, right? So you have to think about when you walk around them. Well, in this game, you can just, while they're on, walk around them. Like, your hitbox doesn't touch them, so they do nothing. Which would be fine if it was introduced in combat, because you might accidentally walk over it while you're in combat, or like trying to kill demons and stuff like that. It's an added thing to think about, but they never are. They're only introduced as environmental hazards between combat scenarios. So I genuinely don't understand why they exist, because they pose zero challenge. It's strange. It's very strange.
I want to take a break for just a second and say, for people who are watching, this is new for us. I don't think we've ever, in the roughly 1 year, I think it's been a year, that we've done dev heads. We don't really do something like this. We play a release and we talk about it. So in keeping with our New Year's resolution that we made a few months ago and getting feedback, please feel free to share with us in the Discord, where we have a dev heads channel on Second Wind, in the chat right now, whether you're on Twitch or you're watching on YouTube, how you feel about this, how it's going so far. This is something that we kind of want to explore because we're trying to try new formats of stuff to show and discuss with you, and we welcome your feedback. So feel free to share with us what you think of this format of playing a release game and just having a chat. I, for one, am appreciating this because I feel like I am coming at this right out the gate with a way more critical eye, a more mindful eye than I would be if I were just playing it. Obviously, it's different experiences and the thoughts come the same, but it's great to be discussing this at the same time.
100%.
Here's our upgrade trees.
Oh yeah, this is the God of War UI.
Yeah, and then we'll get into more gameplay elements later on. I'm upgrading the shield. We can upgrade each individual gun. We have the guns will also have alternate modes that they have. This Shredder has an alternate staker mode that I'm obsessed with because Van Helsing is cool as fuck. But for now, I'm going to be upgrading the shield. But yeah, upgrades. Yeah.
I am curious if you this playthrough, if you just focus on the gun, if that changes the combat for you in any way.
Probably not, considering they just tried to introduce mini boss enemies and I parried them to fuck. And that's what killed them. It's not necessarily the. Yeah. Well, I've bumped up the difficulty, and I was hoping the parry timings would be a little bit harder. In the difficulty I was playing before, and this one, you can parry projectiles while they're off your screen. It's, I believe, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I'm tackling this whole podcast today from the perspective of, like, what were the devs thinking, or what do we think they faced in making some of these decisions? So I keep thinking of my previous experiences. So yeah, it's interesting that they're inserting a shooter, a very fast-paced shooter, in an action-adventure style game. It's like marrying two genres together. And from what you're telling me, Jay, you don't think that it was...
No, I think the parry mechanic is 100% what this game needs. I think it's really, really cool. Feels amazing. Like, in the rare cases where there are environments that are only focused on the combat and the parrying and managing all the enemies pops off, it feels great. But they're extremely rare. And the things in between them to do with the platforming, the narrative. Oh yeah, these guys you have to charge. They're rare as well. I don't think it. I don't think a lot of the elements. I kind of view this instead of like a marriage of two systems. It's kind of like a polygamous marriage of multiple, and I think the two ones that have been added onto the marriage are just arguing all the time.
Okay.
Weird polygamy.
Fun metaphor, Jay.
Weird polygamy metaphor.
Now I'm
Yeah.
imagining your video essay, title style.
Yeah.
Does Doom Dark Ages have subtle polygamist undertones?
That's the title.
I can see a situation where like the narrative team was at odds with the rest of the team because it's their first time really trying to dive into making a story.
Yeah.
And then and learning how to make a narrative team a cohesive part of the game dev culture from the ground up is not easy as like a dev team when you don't have any sort of
Yeah, for sure.
like you need strong leadership and hopefully people with experience, you know, guiding it along the way. Oh, so you don't need to shoot those ones, those shields?
No.
Yeah. So as Jay was saying, now what's interesting, Jay, is you've got the blue shields and you've got the orange shields, and neither of them you have to shoot. What's the difference between the blue and the orange ones?
The orange ones later on, they will add systems where
That's cool. Sorry, I thought that was cool.
Right in the sternum. Who needs it?
the blue ones, they'll introduce a system later where through an upgrade, the blue ones will make the shield bounce between enemies.
Okay.
But the red ones explode. So at the moment, you just have to either use a specific type of weapon to get rid of the blue shields and explode them, or shoot them enough to take them down, or throw your shield. And the shield is such a powerful tool that people will upgrade because it's used in every part of combat, that it becomes your go-to for every pack of enemy you see. Just throw your shield. Because it will, yeah.
Sorry, gray requires shooting and then shield attack. The orange can just be throw the shield, whatever. Blue is eventually you'll be able to bounce around, but you can also just shoot them a lot. Is that what I heard? Because otherwise,
you can
blue
just
and orange
shoot them
sound
a
the
lot.
same right now. Okay,
Effectively
so
they are.
That looks like the guy that was sitting in the chair. No?
Kind of. They look kind of similar.
Okay, I gotta say, I love the image of the guy gratuitously standing there and shaking and having a razor shield just rip through his rib cage. But it does, by having that happen, I'm noticing that with attacks like that and a lot of the other aspects of this combat, we're not getting those quick little glory kill satisfiers as the music ramps up and shit.
Yeah, no, not at all.
There was some, remember right in Eternal, and please correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, the music would duck a bit, the audio would duck, and you'd not like less than a second punch through the face or arm bar and then punch in the face.
Yeah,
or whatever.
well, part of that is because Mick Gordon didn't work on this game for obvious reasons. I read through that entire document he released yesterday, and my god, that is a wild ride.
What obvious reasons? Because I'm not caught up on that.
There's been a lot of drama between Mick Gordon, the famous composer of the Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal soundtrack, and the mismanagement of the project, and then them trying to blame it on him.
Of this project, or?
No, the previous project, Eternal. And the lead developer released a statement and then blaming Mick, and then Mick came back with like a 20-page document with receipts. And then, yeah, it was a whole thing. So yeah, he was not working on this project.
He? What? Girl, I didn't hear it.
Let me send you this document after this, Tina. It is.
Okay.
It is a piping hot tea.
T is ready for the tea, isn't she, T?
Yes.
T.
That's crazy.
So yeah, they didn't work on it, and I'm not sure who did work on this this soundtrack. I don't think it's hits as much, and I'm not just trying to fight Mick Gordon's corner here, but just as a composer myself, I don't think it hits as hard. I don't think there is the same amount of nuance. It does feel a little bit crossfadey.
So the composer is a company called Finishing Move.
Okay. The one thing, if you play guitar and you like prog metal, there's a couple instances where they're thumping, and I appreciated that. But other than that, not.
So they did Halo. Halo 2.
Which Halo?
Halo Anniversary, Halo 2, Halo, the Master Chief Collection, Halo 2 Wars, Borderlands 3.
Halo Wars
Ooh,
2?
I might die here.
Like the RTS?
Yeah. Crackdown 3.
Crackdown?
Yeah.
There's a name I haven't heard in a while.
Yeah, so.
And I'm sorry, did you say the original Halo 2 or the anniversary edition of Halo 2? Goose.
Halo 2 Anniversary.
Okay, so they're good at replicating things that have been done before, which kind of makes sense to have them try and do the Doom soundtrack.
But you don't like it.
I just feel like it's a bit derivative of the original, and I think there are some aspects where I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool, but it just kind of reminds me of what the music was, rather than like, oh, this is an interesting take on the scenario I'm in. I feel like even though Mick Gordon had his own style and his own musical flavor, it still felt like you were walking into thematic scenes, like for each musical track. Sorry, I'm trying to concentrate slightly.
Yeah, so I just wanted to get back to. Ooh! Sorry, that's just fun to watch. How do you
Ooh!
You can't get bored of that. Mike and I will chat a little bit. So Mike, earlier when you were talking about how they introduced, I guess, and for better or worse, a feature where you could hit these shields and then everyone explodes, but you have to like shoot them to like heat it up, and then it disappears, and then you don't have to do that anymore in the future. I've been in I've personally experienced so I'm gonna speculate on why that happened. When a level designer is assigned to a section of the game, right, or their own map to make, I can see a situation, because it's happened before, where when a feature's requested, it's not readily expressed to the entire team that this happened, and you can use it in this way for your level. So it could be that a level designer just had no idea that that was the case for these things, like, oh, I'm just gonna have them orange because that's cool, and didn't really understand how that came to be or why it was requested, and how it played in another previous level or map. So those things can occur through miscommunication or because that designer is technically heads down on what they're doing, and they don't. There could be a
they're not
situation where
necessarily using everything from the design team, right? When an LD is going in and they're placing all their enemy spawns, I see what you mean. I think that's a pretty fair, very possible speculation. Some designers like, hey, here's how you fight the shield guys. The LDs went, okay, cool, or it just never got to them. As you're talking, oh, look at that.
Okay, come on.
One moment.
Cap.
Let's appreciate
cool.
some badass Doom shit now.
There are definitely some badass Doom shit.
He just
moments in
rocked
this-
that
in this
dude.
game.
Is he gonna get up?
Can he go up
Who
to
is
them?
he?
How close can he get to these
What's he
guys?
look
Yeah.
like?
Let's
This guy
watch,
looks like
actually.
he's on your team because his armor is similar. Yeah. Some fucking Evangelion shit here. Check it out. Oh! I don't know why he just took that.
Because he's in a cutscene, Mikey.
It's
not
very
waiting for the
inspiring.
plot to advance.
Very inspiring.
Just the
The messaging here is, remember, when you're knocked down, you always need to get back up and rock the dude in the face to put you down.
Okay, I mean, this is cool. Being next to something like that. But it does leave you wishing you could be a part of that fight.
You will.
I think you do.
Next mission.
Yeah, there's some badass. Yeah, I'm okay with what they're doing here. I think because I just know from a little bit of trailer media I accidentally saw that they're building up to some stuff.
Yeah.
I'll leave it at
Yeah,
that.
but what's
to
the
what you're
payoff
saying,
going to be?
Tina,
That's the question.
I totally get it. And as you were talking, Tina, I was looking it up. There's over 200 people at it, apparently, according to this couple estimates I just Googled.
Yeah, and you know what?
Sometimes you miss shit, right?
For the sake of, you know... Ooh.
That was good.
Yeah, you'll be seeing that animation. That's one of 2.
Okay, the animation team fucked with that. That's cool. Sorry. AAA, yeah, that's where things can get really chaotic if you're not communicating very effectively or expressing...
I will agree with your sentiment, what you said before of like that happening and it could be a miscommunication, but this happens in nearly every single level after this.
We're talking about specifically the shields mechanic introduced not being used. Are you saying
it feels like a conscious decision to manufacture moments because it happens so frequently that it feels like if it was a mistake, someone repeatedly made that mistake for all 22 levels of the game.
Yeah.
Which is
why keep it in and introduce it in the first level? You know, that's really weird.
That is a really good question.
Yeah, I'm surprised by it too. We should have somebody on. Let's try to get a person from it on because I feel like, obviously, you know, it's not an opportunity to throw shade or shit talk, but I kind of want to understand because I'm just a little confused by certain design choices.
There's another one here. So with the shield, as it's about to introduce us. These corpses that are in the walls for some reason.
Love it.
That are green.
Go on.
These are all over the game. It doesn't matter where you are. These exist. I'll reiterate, these are never included in combat scenarios. You press a button, you press another one, and then you're on the other side. That might as well be some stairs.
What did you do? Wait, why did you
I pressed the
rocket
button.
Forward?
And good fucking question, Mikey. For some reason, if you throw your shield and then pull it back to you from those corpses, they will propel you across a ledge. This mechanic isn't explored in any other usage. There's no enemies that allow you to do this. They only appear as platforming sections, and I'm using the word platforming very loosely because that was 2 button presses that required no skill on my placement or timing. And genuinely might as well have been stairs.
Hey, can I do the speculation thing again?
Yeah, go for it.
I bet that was supposed to be, I bet they had a grapple planned and then they got rid of it because they didn't have time.
Which is interesting because
I think that's
didn't Eternal have a... Well, it's not... You can't just rip shit like that. But yeah, I think Eternal had the grappling... Was the shotgun had a bayonet grapple underneath it? The super shotgun? The double barrel? I think. I'm trying to remember. Feel free to correct me in the chat if I'm wrong. So they have at least a couple meshes, an animation experience that might have been whatever. I guess we don't know. Yeah, Jay, I feel surprised by that too. But I agree with Tina's speculation. Maybe they were like they had more planned for that, an explicit grapple chain, or just I don't know, a voiceover line that says the shield of so and so can magnetically bleh. And
can magnetically blur.
I guess we don't see it. Can magnetically blur.
Wait, see it again.
Rocketing you forward.
Right now? Can you go back and do it to the...
Yeah,
I just want to watch. Okay.
So here we are. We got a clear button from. What's the icon there? Do one more time.
It looks like
Icon's
3 of the
three
shields.
Dots?
It's 3 little like jagged shields that reduce in opacity as they go down, and if you repeat the button, it switch over. Yeah.
It's like he throws his shield out, and then the Slayer's like, "Oh, I forgot about my shield," and in his excitement over forgetting his shield, he leaps forward to go get it.
Olkarand in the chat says shield with chain equals Rygar.
Rygar. I don't get that. What's that mean?
It's the name of...
Rygar.
I assume that's what it's called.
So like all of these cool moments, you're like, wow, that's cool. I jump off a ledge and land on things, and I kill a load of things. Isn't that really cool? But you'll be seeing that 15 times every level. It's
Yeah.
the enemies, like the enemies you'll be that big fat dude that you saw. You'll see him a million times. Wow, you take damage real quick.
Get that health, baby. Do that glory
Gotta get
kill.
him. See,
There you go.
again,
I have
a
a-
good system, right?
In the,
From the
I don't
OG
know.
game.
I feel like I mentioned this on the stream before. Do you guys ever play Clive Barker's Jericho? Not Undying.
No.
The first one.
I
Jericho.
wanted to play that when I was younger, but I never managed to get a copy.
Bit of a surprising game. Like decent level of production. Kind of flew under the radar. I wouldn't say it's a super. It had a lot of issues, but it explored some really interesting things, especially the kind of character and faction building I liked. It was doing tactical horror in like a much less tactical way, more military way, before it became kind of cool as it is nowadays and became more of a thing people started to explore. But in it, there was a part where you fight this like really grim, bloody, terrible, demonic-looking monster, and you fight it in an interesting way, where you have to like take cover and then pop out and do like a proper boss fight. And you do it, and it's like visually striking. It mechanically makes sense. It feels more puzzle-like, and you're like, "Wow, that was awesome." And then you do that 2, 3, 4 more times. I think years ago, even Yahtzee talked about this in
Yeah.
his review of Jericho. And that's what I'm reminded of when you're describing that, Jay. Is games like that. They do a cool thing, but then they do it too many times.
Boss
So
battle.
they're introducing a boss battle, which is just one of the enemies we've already fought. But again, so I wasn't even looking at that. I was trying to block something, and I parried one of the boss's attacks. So what I'm doing is I'm
Again,
beating its armor up, and then I have to break it off.
Yep. I'm really enjoying a lot of the core combat shit. Again, I just want to say, like, all the shields come out. You figure out which one you're supposed to parry and deflect. That's cool. Go ahead, Tina. Sorry.
Oh no, they did use the heat the shield up to knock it off feature.
They used it on the boss,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
But we'll see from the weapon design and stuff and the shield later on, you don't even need to engage with that layer. It all just happens naturally. You'll be seeing that animation 8 million times. Because every boss you kill has that same animation.
I love the door. The door is huge. It's like
Yeah,
a sci-fi door, but
this
the
is
top
why.
part just goes up forever.
Because Mechs.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
I never noticed that he's on a crucifix.
Dude's great.
Yeah.
Gold? I didn't know you were getting gold.
Yeah, gold is the currency you use to upgrade your weapons.
Okay. Oh, look at your hordes. All right. This seems like an appropriate escalation for the series.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sovereign
The-
says
the
it's
only
always
way
cool
to-
the first time. I think that's beautifully put. Yeah, when you see things a million times, it starts to lose its luster. Speakeasy says the mech is T-posing. Yeah, you probably would want it to T-pose.
I love that it looks like the Slayer. I like that it looks like him. He's getting into a bigger robot version of himself, or bigger, power suit
Master
version of
Chief
himself.
could never do this.
Yeah, the tone isn't supported by Halo.
So this is objectively
After Ben.
badass, right?
Yeah.
Cutscene team, the concept, really, really cool. But when we get into gameplay, and we see how they contextualize this via gameplay, yeah, it's
Well, let's see.
Yeah, let's see right now.
so dodging,
The dash. Dash through those. Cool. Because you can't dash in normal combat, unlike in
No.
Eternal.
you
Right.
can sprint.
Okay. We're going
Did
right
you
through that
just-
bridge.
Did you break?
Yeah, you
Did
just
you
walk
break
through
the
the
bridge?
bridges. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can charge up and dash in, and then I just used the dash again. And you punch enemies until the finisher appears, and then you press the finisher.
Okay.
Punch
Wait, let him
enemies.
So
hit
can
you.
you
Let
fill
him
two
hit you.
semis?
I can't. It's wanting me to do it.
Ah. That's a-
Oh, you're tutorialized right now.
I'm getting FTUX'd all over this bitch.
So, I'm sorry, wait, real quick.
Yeah.
So, first semicircle means, oh, if you right bumper, you'll do a stomp. Two semicircles, you do a palm strike, which kills them.
Yes.
What are those little tanks doing? They know what's going on.
Yeah,
Why aren't they
they
leaving?
can see. They're hell tanks.
Yeah.
They're hell tanks. They're
They're
committed.
made of bone. If you look at them,
Alright.
they're made of bones.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, let's try and add some complexity to this combat. Let's add one more button press, shall we?
Okay. Figure your dash.
Sir, a Titan broke through. The energy relay is under attack.
If that core explodes, the city goes.
And that is the extent of gameplay.
Get hit.
Oh, I can see your... Go ahead, Tina.
I just want to see him get hit.
Oh, you want to see me get hit?
Oh, get hit, you said.
Okay, I'll wait.
Is your
health
back-
recharge?
Yeah.
It's the tutorial, I think, so it gave me one for free.
Sure, okay, sure. So what's the point of the stomp if you could just keep at it? block
The
when
stomp
needed,
can
build up to
kill
a
some
palm
of
strike?
them. Like, I think the stomp can kill the unarmored ones. They'll introduce armored ones where they're just more tedious
The
to
reactor
kill.
has sustained heavy damage.
Right, you need to stomp before...
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand your criticism here. This feels like... I get that it's an action game. But the depth of all of Doom's other combat... There's no dance here, right? I keep using this term dance.
Well, and it makes these
And it
enemies
feels like
that
a
are
lost
meant to feel
opportunity.
imposing and badass, and makes them feel like children. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm in the soft play area with all the kids, and I'm pushing them
You know
around.
you know what it needs? It needs like some quick time event special anime. Ooh, that's cool.
Hey, can I have one of those? Can I get those on my back?
Can I be you? Can the plot
Can I be
happen to
you?
me?
Can I get the cape too?
Deploy weapon.
Can the plot happen?
The cape's an interesting one. Imagine the size of that thing.
Yeah.
Who quilted that thing?
A bunch of... Well, he's a sentinel, I assume, right?
Yeah. Let's
there
take
we
that
go.
gameplay and let's make it more interesting.
This is a minigun. It looks like. There you go. Those bullets are enormous.
Huge
Those
bullets.
bullets are like the size of 3 jets stacked on top of each other.
You have to dodge, get a perfect dodge to like power up the bullets, or they don't do anything.
Interesting. This segment feels like it, and this isn't like a knock, although I guess in the context of what you're saying, Jay, it is. This feels like it has the depth of an arcade, like cabinet game to me, right?
Yeah.
A little
I
bit of
dig that.
mild timing,
Yeah, that's fair.
dodge. The tone
And
of
I
the game
intentionally
is
played
also
on a
making
harder
it feel
difficulty in
arcadey.
this playthrough because one of my criticisms is that on the normal difficulty the game is way too easy.
Approaching the core.
Like obscenely easy, and I was like, all right, I'll play on one more difficulty level up to see if the parry timings are harder. As you have seen with me fighting enemies, and even there, unless I intentionally let them, enemies never hit me because the parrying is just so easy.
It's pretty telegraphed, yeah.
Yeah, and just
And
like the
slow.
timing, the windows are obscenely large.
Have you tried
Yeah.
on the hardest difficulty?
No,
if
I
that
haven't. I
changes
think my
anything?
next playthrough, if I do one, it's going to be on the absolute hardest difficulty. But just like as I spoke about before, as a game design critic, whenever I play games, I always try and go in on the normal mode because I want to see what they assume is
I'll mark it for you.
the level of difficulty that makes
Yeah.
sense.
The crane ship in 50
Now, I
miles
assume
away.
you have all the difficulties unlocked right from the get-go, right?
I believe so.
I mean, it is fun to watch.
It looks badass. It's just like Jay was saying, like objectively cool or whatever it was you said, Jay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I'm trying to think about as I'm watching this, I'm trying to think about, okay, how might I have done that differently? I feel like you need like. Go ahead. Yeah.
The thing is like I agree. This does look interesting to watch. It is absolutely mind-numbing to play. I'm pressing 2 buttons, 3 if you count the finisher, but I don't really count that. And I feel like that for a lot of the game. Like I'm hoping we can get to the point where we get to the dragons, which again, objectively cool, but it's how it's executed is the tricky part.
No response from the makers. Tracking the Slayer for evac now.
I feel like so much of Doom has become about the movement, is what I was going to say, that if you were to do a power suit segment, you need to incorporate that movement as one thing. Also, like, juggling enemies is an important part of what Doom's combat identity is, right? Prioritizing ammo management, weapon management, the special ability. And you can't really have that when it's one-on-one and it's just your fists.
Yeah,
so
I think
tonally,
power fantasy,
it's badass and awesome, but and there's a power fantasy element to it. But I also understand it's a pretty steep gameplay challenge. Like if you want to have the big guy in armor that moves slow, you're already like stepping away from traditional or new age Doom design. Or even old Doom design.
I think power fantasy is the crux of all Doom design, and I think like with these mechs specifically, my criticism is that they haven't set up the power of these enemies. So because they haven't set up the power of the enemies you're playing, you don't understand the power of your mech, right? You do just feel like you're, say it in my video, you feel like you're fighting the same enemies as you do when you're smaller, but now they're biglier.
I'm enjoying watching this.
And also, cutscene team, beautiful. They're really, really cool.
What is that?
Don't let him just lay there, Jay. Finish him off. He's a demon.
Yeah, no, I got him. Don't worry, dude.
Gratuitously kill him now.
Yeah, let me
All
show
right,
you probably one of the coolest moments in the game.
Kick him. This is
Just-
Sparta. This is Sparta.
Yeah, but the messenger doesn't usually explode in 300, which is more cool, right? Yeah.
He just.
Oh, is he bailing on his mech? Why?
The explosion was gonna
He had
kill
to
it.
restart
Yeah.
the generator. To be fair, because we're talking so much, I can't comment too much on like the story and shit. It's hard to track
Yeah.
with the combos we're
Return to
having.
the Sentinel barracks.
Is it sci-fi? Is it medieval?
It's
Why not
neither.
both?
I'm a fan of that mashup. I think it's fun,
Now please,
but
let her soul be at peace.
I am pretty lost at the same time. But again, could just be because of the convo.
Yeah, that's creepy.
Heart of Argent.
Is sealed in a chamber. I told you, I cannot open it.
So everyone say this is discount Warhammer 40k? Yeah, it is. I had a joke in my video
I
originally
don't-
that was like, oh, I had a mod that made this game third person, look at it, and it was just Space Marine 2.
I don't know if I'd call it discount. It's got its own styling to it. It's way more hell focused. It's I think 40k is a mashup of a lot of other sci-fi and fantasy.
Everything is,
it's-
right? Nothing's original.
Sure, but I think 40k wears it a little more on its sleeve. You know, to start, it's got a lot of Dune inspiration, and then depending on the army that you're looking at, like the Tyranid are very Aliens IP inspired, and Orcs are very fantasy inspired. plus soccer hooligans. But I feel like I would give them more credit here. I wouldn't call it discount 40K. They're developing their own medieval sci-fi style. I feel like 40K is more gothic than it is medieval.
Yeah,
you say that, but then there's stained glass windows and dark gray.
Yeah, that's what I saw too. Yeah, like in a temple-looking thing.
So this is one of the things of saying
Assemble the guard.
the Doomslayer is not present for this plot progression here, and this is common for most of the plot that happens.
Yeah,
there's an instance later where the plot happens, he isn't present, so at the end of the mission, an NPC has to come to him in another cutscene and tell him the plot.
Yeah, you
Oh, look, a green
feel
thing.
quite detached. Oh, you forgot about your shield. Jump over. Go grab it. I think that, yeah, I would agree with that. I think part of why Doom, I'm thinking about Doom 2016. Like you said, he like punches the terminal. For one, the premise is simpler and it's set up pretty quickly. You're on Hell, they're harvesting it for energy, and the guy who's responsible for it all is convinced that it was fine.
Yeah.
So now the player has reason to be angry, right? Because an irresponsible person caused a lot of damage, it took a lot of risk.
Yeah.
You could also, as a player, you could engage with that and be angry at that, or you could engage with it and just be like, I'm just angry and I'm a monster, so I'm just going to kill everything I see.
Yeah.
And it still works and it's fine. I suppose you could say the same for here, like, because, yeah, you're detached, just a tool. You're going to just go forward wherever they tell you to. But it's to the point where instead of being able to have low investment, you have to sit through these cutscenes and you wonder, like, I'm not invested in this, and I feel like a little bored. Instead of in original 2016, where you could like, it was quick enough where you could kind of detach from it. So I could see that criticism.
100%.
And again, I gotta give credit here. You're grinding up skulls here and shooting fragments of bonus.
No, super cool.
It's kind of fun.
It's kind of fun, but also like relatively weak. Why would I? Especially later when you upgrade the shield, which when you kill things with the shield like this, they drop armor. Why would you use
Your shield is
attempt
so
to
good.
upgrade anything else? Go to the shop. So he's got no arms. I don't know if we.
Did the game turn into slow-mo because you were low health? I'm not sure I saw that.
I think it was because I was. Whenever you parry something, the game goes slow-mo.
Okay. Shoot off the other arm. Shoot off the other.
I just punched his heart out.
I just want it to happen once.
I will keep trying. So yeah, the weapon that I'm gonna get, I think it's in this mission. The stake gun, you can effectively make it have infinite ammo, and whenever you use the shield, which you're gonna be using anyway, it empowers it so it one-shots enemies. Like those big guys that I have to parry 3 or 4 times, it will one-shot them. And that becomes the loop of the game. There's no encouragement for switching between weapons because of like ammo scarcity. And I'm so used to, and oh look, a new mechanic with that enemy. He's doing that. He will do that same attack pattern all game, the entire game, left, right.
Like
so
said,
them doing it is not a choice of, or like a decision you're making. If you see those enemies cast an ability, they will do that pattern. And that is the same for every single enemy in the game.
It might be because it's early, but I feel like, just want to say real quick, there's not a lot of enemy diversity in the fights.
No.
Maybe because it's early. I don't know yet. But go on. What were you gonna say?
Yeah, just like this is what I'm talking about with like the enemies being lined up to do their thing. Just gonna do that.
Yeah, the shield feels too good to me.
And this is and this has one upgrade. There's upgrades for it and also relics which give it superpowers. So whenever you deflect anything, it causes like an earthquake that will kill all of the enemies in front of you.
I mean, that seems cool.
It is cool. but also trivializes the entire game. The difficulty curve of this game is really inverse.
Power fantasies are tricky. Like, it seems intuitive to just make it where, just like, make yourself kill everything, and that'll be the fun thing, and that will be a power fantasy. But it does have to be kind of hard. You need to have, like, player
There
mastery.
has to be juxtaposition.
Yeah, that too.
Another thing with... so you'll see there, another thing with difficulty in the game, I can throw my shield into an enemy. I can throw my shield.
What is that halo around their? What is that yellow halo around their head?
That's just signifying that they're doing an attack that can be parried. So I can throw my shield into an enemy, like into him, and another one could try and attack me, and I can still parry. It's not like you're giving up your weapon to be able to stun one. You can use every aspect of your weapon while it's in someone else. It's like...
Where's the music, by the way?
There is none. And that's really common. There was a scene later on in the game. Do you know, like, Berserker mode, where you get infinite, like, you can just one-shot everything? You get that later on, and when I played it, the Berserker mode had no music.
Okay, so Nick says that the yellow halo after parrying is your fast melee window. Do it.
Oh, there we go. Oh, yeah.
Punch him. Crack him. Punch his ammo right out of him.
You don't like this.
Yep. It looks like the fast melee just gives you ammo and nothing else. Oh, no health. Oh, wait, that was a kill. Never mind.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's kind of...
You just parry, punch, parry, punch, 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 parry.
Oh, it's too easy.
It was very good.
I do want to comment that, like, the parry and shielding and all that stuff in, like, God of War is not... it was hard when I first got into it because I played a lot of shooters, right? I worked on a lot of shooters, and so I just didn't have the patience for myself in the beginning to learn how to time things correctly.
Yeah.
And it seems like this game chose to get rid of that learning curve. For you, that you don't like that choice, but if you're trying to get more shooter players,
I don't feel like it's
this,
a learning curve issue. I feel like it's just a...
well, there is no learning curve, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is but if there was more difficulty and a learning curve, you don't think that would have been enough for you?
Enemy variety, enemies, not just the variety of enemies themselves. I say it in my video that regardless of whether you're... I don't want to spoil where the game takes you location-wise, even though I'm not impressed by it. I don't want to spoil it for people who do want to play it. The game takes you to a variety of different locations, and you will be that are very different, and you will be fighting the same exact demons in every single area, and they will be doing the exact same attack patterns. And I'm not necessarily asking for multiple different variations of enemies to be specific for each area, but I would like the enemies to have a suite of different attacks that they can do, so I have to think about what they're doing. Because at the moment there is none. It's just, oh, give me that. I love upgrades. So yeah, it's there's a bunch of things.
I think there's also a level design piece to this. Like, I feel like in again the previous two Dooms, there was more verticality to the levels. They felt more. There were clearly there's arena design here to the spaces in which you fight, but they felt like more diverse arenas in the previous games. I don't see much cover in the middle. I don't again see much verticality. So I feel like that's also contributing to this situation where you just stuck your ass in a corner and parried, punched, parried, punched, parried, punched over and over.
I do think I do want to bring it home that I do think the parrying is definitely the evolution the game needs, but also I think everything to do with the arenas of combat, the platforming, and even the story, unfortunately I don't think the developers understood what made the game engaging in the first place, and they're they're just doing something different. We got the stake gun, by the way, which is the gun I used for my entire playthrough. The skin that I got for it for getting like 1 million headshots is still on the gun, even though I'm on a different playthrough. So my gun's golden, which is really cool.
I'm okay with that. That's cool.
Oh yeah, I'll commend that. It's all gameplay focused. Where'd that guy go? Oh, there he is. Okay.
Ooh, that had to be satisfying, right? The headshot.
It is satisfying. Hence why I wanted to use this weapon all the time, and then found out that it broke the game. Because
The
at the
shield's
moment,
already pretty good. So here you are with your ranged weapon. Yeah, your battle rifle that fires spikes.
yeah, the battle rifle that fires spikes, but I'm gonna try and get that parry. At the moment, none of these things are fully upgraded. This spike weapon will, for now, run out of ammo very quickly. But you'll get something later that makes it infinite ammo.
Whoa.
And I think it's its second upgrade.
Ooh, okay.
It's dumb.
That's surprising. Yeah, because again, a big part of the support with dance is you need to be juggling your resources, managing your resources, your ammo, your health,
Yeah.
your dashes, right? Because those used to be on charges. The HUD I remember in Eternal could get a little crowded, and I remember it being even like a little overwhelming, all the abilities that you had. But that was part of the mastery, right? Was using them all perfectly in time with each other to fight the big guys, deal with the little guys. And
Oh, there he is.
having infinite ammo, just removing one of those resources to manage, as a
Yeah.
full-on passive upgrade, if I'm understanding you right.
Yeah, it's
That's,
something to do with when
surprises
you
me.
kill things with the shield, which again you're gonna be doing. It's your most powerful tool. It drops ammo. And
Okay,
when there's
so it
an
might as well
upgrade
be
that
passive.
yeah, and this weapon is already extremely powerful, but another upgrade for it is when you pick up ammo for it. I mean, we'll see that we'll see them here because I can buy them. So the first one is the Impaler. Hitting enemies with shield throw and parries drops Impaler ammo. So I have just unlocked the gun, and I've just unlocked infinite ammo for it.
I see what you're. Yeah.
When I get another one of those red things, upgrades, I can get this, which is picking up Impaler ammo empowers your next shot, which means you can one-shot enemies. And you are always picking up Impaler ammo because you're always throwing your shield. This gun is fucking broken. And it's not a balance issue. It's not the stakes do too much damage. It is built into the design of the gun. It's the first and second upgrade. It's not something you have to save up for and get these rare items and explore to get. I have the thing that breaks it immediately after unlocking it. And the question is, oh, well, why wouldn't you just try and use other weapons to diversify your gameplay? And it's like, well, it's already frantic and crazy as it is. Why would you intentionally hamper yourself? I mean, yeah, there is definitely fun in that. I've got to
It's not
remember
really
how-
on the player to make it challenging or diversify their own play.
It's not.
Now I say that, and I'm in the design of a lot of tactical shooters, and we were guilty of this in Insurgency. We had a damage model where a lot of the weapons operated pretty similarly. They all deal a ton of damage. It's a high time to kill. A part of engaging with those weapons did become a little bit aesthetic, where players would just be like, well, I'm using the MP5 just because I like the MP5.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like that's a thing on us as designers where we have to put effort into diversifying and creating incentives to use different weapons. So I'm not saying it's easy. It's especially difficult with, more realistic or modern games where you do guns, because guns have plateaued in their design throughout history. We're at a point where we figured out small arms. But in a game like this, which has its foundation in weapon design being specifically about fighting, it's about having each gun as a role, right? Each weapon has a role.
Yes.
That enemy's far away, I use my far away gun. One of my favorite examples of this is Max Payne, right? Max Payne had great weapon design while still being modern, right? The two machine pistols, they were like Mac 10s or whatever, is good for short to medium range, blast everybody, but you don't have a lot of ammo on it. Fires really quickly. Just get that threat out of the way. Pump shotgun, short to medium range effectiveness, but big delay between each shot, so time it appropriately. Anyway, Continue, Jet.
Yeah, no,
That's
and
my
like
weapon design.
you're completely right. And
What
if
was
this
that?
weapon, these are just these appear sometimes. You have to block them. The thing is with this weapon, if infinite ammo one-shot gun was a reward you got at the end of the game, a la like the BFG, awesome. But it's not. It's the 5th weapon, and it's upgraded immediately. Also, ludonarrative dissonance is definitely a thing. I can shield bash through planks of wood. I can shield bash through these planks of wood, but not from this side.
I have to imagine that the sternum of a hell demon, of the sizes you've been fighting, is harder material to cut through.
That is,
than those planks of wood.
Mikey. That
And
is
you've been
the
cutting through it a lot.
exact thing I say in my video. Like I'm
Oh,
like,
is it really?
oh, I punch through demon chests like it's paper mache, but like can't get through.
Is that something you can get later to collect that helmet?
Yeah, I can loop around and get some stuff if I want to.
Okay. Let's see. In the chat, Sussiguru2000 says, I see they brought back the OG blue bottle pickups.
Yeah, love that too. I did notice something in the OG Doom. The blue bottle pickups, they give you a couple points of health, 1 or 2, I think, I can't remember. And it's similar here, or the same here. But the blue bottles are special because they allowed you to go over 100 health, which other health items didn't allow you to do. But I also saw, Jay, like if you were to pick up that health pack on the right side of the screen right now,
Yeah.
that can go over 100. I don't know if you mind. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's not something I'm used to. But I guess, I guess that's fine. I guess it removes this kind of annoyance of like, I've copied upon all the health, I better make sure I get the pack first before I get the blue bottles. That's something I kind of liked. Like, do you have the time to wait to go and get other health and then go to the blue bottles? You just need the blue bottles right away. We kind of removed that.
So
He just loved the violence.
The only difficulty ramp I can see
Wait,
in
what's
going
that?
on a high difficulty
Oh,
is
you
that
got the
enemies
heart.
hit harder. Yeah, so I've just increased my maximum armor because I fought a bigger version of a default enemy.
He had an armor heart, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, Tina, I'll go show you that item with my criticism
How do you
of
get to
ludonarrative
it?
dissonance. How do you get to it? Good question. Let's see if the game can tell us. Here's an arrow of items to show us.
Okay.
Gold.
Not in the chest.
Ooh, moody.
Oh, there's nothing.
You just wipe all of that away.
Yeah.
That your collecting
That
a
looked
chest?
like something. So
So
they
here's
had
the
a fake
item.
out secret. That's
So this is a secret. This is another criticism I have. Because I am good at the game, I have these are like revives. If you die, you can get revived, and you can collect these. I have 3, so I can't do anything with it. So my reward is nothing, and these are the planks of wood that I couldn't get through.
Talk about gamey. Yeah, and if you're at 3, then I get putting the ceiling on it. They didn't have that in the other Dooms, did they?
I don't believe
That
so.
feels-
The fact those corpses wobbled, love it.
Let me rephrase my joke from before. It's not that you forgot about your shield and you leap forward in Revelation. It's your shield got stuck. That enrages the Slayer because he's so codependent with his shield that he leaps forward to try and grab it. That's what's
Yeah.
happening. Oh, okay.
I got stack.
Ooh.
Got to remind
Interesting
you it's a
choice to
mechanic.
lower your armor. Ooh.
I
Oh, wait,
believe
sorry.
I get ambushed here.
You started the game at 50 armor. Okay. Go ahead, Tina, sorry.
I'm just enjoying watching this. I am not.
Seems like
as,
you're less. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yes, I am not as salty today.
I would say Jay or I are salty here. Look, I'm giving credit where I feel like it's solidly due, but I agree with, and I'm noticing things that I think could have been done differently or better, and that's like obviously the outsider's perspective, right?
Yeah, I think people.
But I feel
you'll
like our
feel this more of
criticisms
you.
are pretty bad.
I think you'll feel this more of you play it.
What just happened?
He fell, but it's 2025, so when we fall on games, instead of you died, resume resume checkpoint, I guess we just plopped you out there. It didn't even take one of your lives, it looks like.
Yeah,
No,
that's what
it
I was
just-
wondering. I thought it would have.
No, it doesn't. Which, do you know what? Fair, it was an accident. If you took away those
Yeah, I don't
collectibles
really
from
object to
small
that.
things, I would kind of be like, oh, you bastard. But then, do you know what it might do? Make me pay attention. Oh, a secret. Weapon skin.
You're funny.
These AI friendlies that you have, I like the way they're using the earlier Dooms. I gotta talk about these Lost Souls too, where they were, you know, in awe of you. They were scared of you, even though you were on their sides. They were used to a good narrative effect in these like Half-Life style, barely cutscenes. You're just looking through your eyes, you're just seeing choreographed animation, character animation stuff happen around you. Here, they're just like every time you've come across friendly AI, they just look like they're posted up, about to do something, and they say something.
Yeah.
We gotta get out of here. That's it. But this feels like a lost opportunity. It's as you said, I guess. All the narratives happening alongside you and also the
Around
cutscenes.
him, yeah, not to him.
Yeah.
At him. It's happening at him. It's superficial because of that.
No, it's not happening at him because he's not involved in it, right? Like he's barely involved in it. And part of that is the joke, especially in the OG games, right? That is the joke. Doom, he doesn't care, right? Or as Mikey was saying, you can infer his level of care through your actions.
Yeah.
But here it's not. There is a narrative happening adjacent to him.
You can't,
and he's also there.
you can't in Doom 2016, in Doom 1 and 2, I mean, it's I think it's as you're saying, Jay, in the biggest way. It's a joke. I think the story for Doom 2 is like they invaded hell and they killed your pet rabbit. Like it's silliness, right? It's you're there for a vibe, right? You're there for the atmosphere, and you're only getting like a screen crawl at the beginning and a little bit of like environmental storytelling and stuff. Don't get me wrong, but that's. Oh, hold on. Let me look at this spider monster. That looks pretty cool.
Yeah, he's very similar
boss?
to. It's not really a boss. This is well, it is, but it's then introduced as a standard enemy in the next level. So.
Sure. What was I saying? Forgot. Oh yeah. So the way Doom's personality. So that's Doom 1 and 2. I feel like 3 was like you're just kind of there for the ride. Like Hell's invading the Mars that you work on, and you're trying to survive. So it was a little more survivally, a little more minimalistic.
What are you
In
taking
Doom 2016
damage
and
Sorry.
that's okay.
What's he taking damage from? From behind?
What am I taking damage from? He spits on the ground.
Okay, so
So-
you're walking into the spit.
He
Oh,
kind
there
of
it is.
spits
The
on the ground
gold,
in a way that
the
you
golden
can't,
spit.
Yeah.
can't. He'll do it in a way that you can't dodge it.
Yeah.
So
No, I
it's
just-
kind of
I
like
didn't realize.
that. He
You were
fires it at
setting
your
it up.
feet, so I can't really dodge that.
Yeah. I was just wondering. Sorry, Mike. Go on.
That's okay. Basically, and then the new Dooms, like, if you choose to not engage with the story, you could justify that through anger. Oh, I hate all these people I just want to kill. You could engage with it by being angry at Samuel Hayden or the demons or whatever. You still, it doesn't like take up too much of your time, and you keep on demonstrating your badassery through interactions with the humans in the level, like I was just saying, or by defying what they want you to do, and just giving them the middle finger, blowing a hole into the surface of Mars to get to a special gate or whatever. I don't see any of that here. It seems like they're building up for what I told you earlier, Jay, which is like you're a tool, and maybe eventually the Slayer gets pissed at being used as a tool, and he becomes less docile, and he
Yeah, they
fights
build
the
up to
Sentinels. I
that
don't know,
exact thing.
but-
But
Okay,
its
so I guess
payoff
that's
is pretty
part of the
simple.
attention.
Wait, you don't want to
Sure.
shoot it in the ass? Like, isn't that the?
in its
Why are
booty.
you shooting in the butt? Yeah.
I can try and
Isn't
shoot
that
it in the
where
butt.
they take
Maybe
more
that's.
damage?
Am I missing? I didn't read the tutorial. Maybe I'm missing what it wants me to do. The standard
No,
version
that's
of these
just what I
enemies are just.
Shoot him in the ass.
You're doing damage,
Okay.
to
Shoot
be
him in the
fair,
ass.
but shoot it in the ass because it looks susceptible to damage.
It
Yeah,
looks thick, like it wants to be hit.
Okay, let me hit it in the booty. It is
Hit it.
its booty, Tina. You're right.
baby.
There you
I
go.
missed that. Yeah, the standard enemies of this I don't believe have that as a mechanic, and if they do, they're so easy to kill. You don't need to worry.
Was that a I don't like spiders look,
Clear the
Tina?
player's launch pad.
I think that's a cool enemy. Wait, so you have to fight it like that every single time?
No,
Or
you
just-
just shoot
no?
it, shoot its armor off, then shoot it in the head when it's a base enemy.
You know what? That sounds to me like they ran out of time or resources to make more enemies, so they defaulted to using like the bosses.
Yeah, oh, cool. We did get to the dragon level. So you guys are gonna get to see how they implemented dragons, which I'm also super critical of.
Okay.
Yeah, I will say, like, I'm not usually on here doing my whole like design critic thing on dev heads a lot. This is probably the first game in a long time that I've been like hyper critical of, because I think it's missed the mark in a lot of areas, and I think that's kind of baffling when you have a team size of, what was it, Mikey, 200 people?
Over 200, yeah. But I mean, we know how it is, right? There's a pressure to innovate, and we've talked about this a lot in recent streams. There's a pressure to innovate, but you also need to stay true to the brand, as Tina emphasized to me when I was pushing for more innovation and big IPs. So they clearly tried to take some risks here, and they were successful, I think, in some. And then the others, feels like it needed like a more passes, or just the direction. It wouldn't have gone in the direction I would have gone with it. But I love this dragon.
It's cool. It's objectively cool. Like, I think with this game, my kind of mantra is, I wish they focused on iteration rather than addition. There seems to be loads of things they've added like this that are just like, oh, cool, badass thing, but then it's executed in a poor way because it's like, you know, it's
Well, okay,
just like
no. Just show us. Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, for this, I won't talk about my criticisms. I'll just play and see if you guys line up.
Okay. Well, we got a third-person camera. We're flying the dragon through a tunnel. You have laser wings. No notes so far.
What did it say? The dragon will what?
You can ascend. You can ascend with the dragon and then descend with LB and RB to ascend and descend.
Nick in the chat says it's normal for mini bosses to turn into regular enemies in
bad.
Doom. So there's no reason to hate on that.
Oh yeah, that'd be. Yeah, I'm not hating on that specifically.
Assault mode. In my head, I just heard Fox from Star Fox 64 say switching to all range mode. Oh, what's this? Okay. Oh, you're dodging in assault mode. Interesting.
You can shoot in the head?
Oh, here we go. Like a fucking dog ripped out its throat. Cool. There's definitely a consistency to all of these segments. Like, we're dodging and we're doing glory kills.
Oh, my bad.
Again, it feels like an arcade cabinet game to me. It's very arcadey.
Oh, it's not gonna turn green for you. Oh, there it goes. But don't you want to do the? Can't you like?
So
Is there
hold on,
anything
wait.
It turned green. Aren't you
Alright,
supposed to do something with that?
Yeah, dodge.
Yeah, it
That's
turned
it.
green. You dodged, and it seems like because you dodged the green ones, your bullets
Yep,
penetrate
because you dropped the. Yep,
blues.
that's exactly it. If you perfect dodge a green one, it empowers your bullets, and you can actually do damage. And you have to wait for the game to tell you to do that.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. I think I agree with you, Jay. This feels like a missed opportunity. You know, you could have. This is air combat. What could we do differently?
Oh, let's have people hold the button to go into a static mode to Simon Says Dodge in 4 of the cardinal directions.
Like, if I'm thinking about how I would, because I don't want to just talk shit. And I mean, I'm not trying to talk shit. I'm just, you know, we're being critical here. But I feel like if I had this problem to solve as a designer, like how do we do air combat in Doom? I don't know. I'd be booting up some old school like Ace Combat games, right? I'd be trying to pull some inspiration. I don't think I would think about it how it seems like they did here, where they said, "Hey, we need consistency in the controls, so Whether we're in the air or on the ground, we either have a shield or we're a big hulking punchy guy, Evangelion mech style.
Even
I don't feel like you'd want to like forcefully
Yeah.
try to include a dodge.
I get that
a glory
like
kill.
the consistency between controls, but also they're not like the controls for parrying on the ground are different to the ones for dodging and on the drag.
In the air?
They're different. But in the mech they're consistent. It's
Assault mode engaged.
it's weird, man. It's really weird.
You know what we have here that remember in the early 2000s when people were trying
Wait,
to
wait.
short.
You gonna kill the
What?
dragon? He's like, can it breathe?
The dragon. He just worried about the dragons.
So
Oxygenation.
our job now is to take down these ships. That is done. Some of it's via the dragon, and some of it's via going on foot. So yeah, we'll go do that now.
What the hell was I saying? I was making a point. I forgot.
That you wanna look at ace combat if you're doing air combat.
Dodge too early.
Yeah. And I was talking about dodging and control consistency, and Jay was saying like, well, actually, is it consistent? I was saying something else. Whatever. Maybe it'll come back to me.
So you can only do damage when you dodge green things.
Yeah.
So is there any reason to shoot?
I just hold the button down, so I have to think less. What would I do otherwise? Just sit there and wait? Like, I feel like that's even less fun. I'll try that.
I remember
on the
what I
next
was going to say. Let me come back to this. In the early 2000s, I think around when people were trying to kind of ape Call of Duty single player and a little bit of Halo 2 TOO, there was this pressure to be like, oh, how do we break up this combat gameplay? Vehicle segments, right? I feel like we've kind of come back to that problem in our first-person shooter linear campaign single player like design style, where we feel like, oh, we want to break things up, let's do a vehicle segment. But vehicle segments, there's not enough time to make them interesting and feel different enough, and also on brand and not like a distraction or not boring. That's what I feel like we've sort of arrived at here. Did you bring yourself, Jay, to not shoot?
I did, but then I just went back to default. Let me.
It's fun to watch, you guys. This is.
Yeah. Well. Let me. Okay, so it wants me to land on this one.
People are having some issues with the stream, Jay. I don't know what's up with that. Commenting in the chat.
What is the issue? Internet can't handle those laser wings.
No. It's choppy.
It's choppy. Interesting.
Mhm.
Fine on my end. I'll just in case. Guys, is it like stream lag or is it like in-game lag?
It's not in game.
Interesting. Well, just in case.
It's fine on
what
our
I'll
end,
do
so.
Is,
yeah.
I'll take down.
I think you need to shoot less. I think that's the problem. Rendering all the particles
yeah.
of your different shots, it's lagging the stream.
Didn't realize that was on. It shouldn't be the game. It's in ultra. I'll put it in ultra nightmare quality. I'll put it in.
That's
I'll put
pretty
it in
funny.
medium just for now.
Ants can't see bad stream.
Bad stream, all capital letters. Bad
I
stream
mean, just in general.
Wow.
Just in general, Ant Pants. Let me know if
Bad
that's
gamer.
improved, guys. Let me know if that's improved. It should be. But you let me know.
Thanks for the heads up, everyone.
Fucking dickhead.
Before you Bruce Lee high kicked him in the head.
This way? Question mark. Let me consult the oracle.
I don't know if we'll be able to do it, but it would be really cool to have a developer from this on, a designer ideally, and as much as they could share. I mean, they probably won't let them on. To be real with your pride, I'd like to talk to them about some of this. Say like, how'd you arrive at this decision, or was there more you wanted to do here? Because I feel like I agree with Tina. Like, part of this might have been like the fog of trying to communicate, use this new thing I made, and it didn't get used, or LD not talking to design or environment art even. I feel like there's.
Ooh, who's that?
This looks cool. He's got a fucking gun, dude.
This isn't a book.
And a sword.
It's the boss, right?
Hard to tell.
Yeah, it's a standard enemy after this, so I'm not sure if this one gives a piece of
Art?
8. No, it doesn't.
The game's different and interesting and modernizing them. And while I like all that core stuff, I like introducing the shield and all these other things. I agree with you, Jay. Like, it feels like there's some imbalancing, but it's like fundamentally imbalanced. Like,
Yeah.
You can't really have features that make certain weapons remove the need to manage a critical resource. Right?
Yeah,
like the ammo,
definitely.
the battle
Definitely.
rifle.
I think that might be some of the
Can you-
criticisms I get in my video of like, well, if you found the game too easy, why didn't you turn the difficulty up? And as doing it now has proven, as you said, Mikey, it's not an issue with the base difficulty. It's the fundamentals of it are broken to the sense of it's not
Hey,
difficult.
so Twitch and YouTube are struggling right now. You want to like just kill the game on your
Kill the
PC?
game. Yeah.
This game's playing in 1080p, and I have a computer that is more powerful than God. It probably isn't that. I'll kill it anyway and see if that fixes it. Maybe it has.
Let's
memory
just see.
leak.
Stop the stream you can stop the. Yeah, there you go. Who knows?
If that
Yeah,
fixes
we'll
it,
try.
there might be memory leak issues. Stream lag,
Okay.
stream lag, stream lag. Yeah, there's no game running right now, so
Yeah, well, let's continue because there'll be recording. Sorry about the inconvenience, guys. We know that there's some lag. We'll have to look into it. Okay, so anyway, those are my thoughts, at least to
I
start.
think
Love the
the stream is 10 minutes
or-
behind.
really.
Yeah. Yeah. Whoa, crazy.
Weird.
Anyways. Because you're still playing
What-
on the live stream.
Apparently it's
What are your
fine
thoughts,
if we're in
Tina?
the menus, so it should be fine now.
Okay.
What are your thoughts, Tina?
About the game?
Yeah.
I like that they hit a clean quality bar. So it's not like you're having bugs or running into issues that are out of your hands when you're playing. I will say that I agree that it seems sort of tedious and like samey, right? After like the first 2 levels, even with the introduction of like the playing in the mech and on the dragon, it seems like they wanted to switch it up, but they couldn't really get there with the time or resources that they had. So, I mean, from what I've seen so far, I'd probably give this like if I was reviewing it, I'd probably give it like a 7 or an 8. Like it's fine. You know, it's not why you're gonna give it like an F or something?
I don't know. I don't do traditional scores, so I wouldn't know how like I would do it
Yeah.
myself.
The reason why I
yeah.
say that is because, like, yeah, it's still solid. Like, the enemies are doing what the enemies are supposed to do. The accuracy and stuff with like shooting the gun seems to be there in terms of like getting that satisfaction about popping off, you know, a headshot. which
Headshot
is
or something.
great.
Yeah. There's definitely a good game in here. I think
Mm-hmm.
behind all of its issues, I think there is a good game. I just don't think what I played is a good game. I think it's buried underneath, and maybe that's because I'm super critical of design stuff because you know it's my job, and I have all these opinions and I have this
No, I think,
expectation, right?
I haven't played through the whole thing like you have. I mean, I think everything compounds on each other and kind of makes you frustrated. But like some of the things you called out, I don't really hold against them as much, right? Like the traversing across a gap with that weird green thing. Like, okay, that's fine, whatever. Like the
Yeah, they're
traversal
not all
stuff
the
is the
same-
same in God of War too. You know,
Yeah, all of
Like,
all of
it's
the
not-
sins aren't equal. Like they're
Yeah,
they're varying degrees. But I think
Okay.
some of them are fundamental to how the game is designed. And it might be okay here, but when you compare it to what the fundamentals were of original, like Doom 2016, and how they encouraged the usage of different weapons, how frantic it was, and how there was such a focus on that, I just feel like, as I said during the stream, I wish they focused on iterating that idea rather than the addition of, oh yeah, well, we get to pilot a mech, but it's a 2-button combo, and I wasn't hit once, and there was 0 difficulty, and how they settle that up, because they didn't set it up, in my opinion, properly. There was no satisfaction to it, because I didn't feel like I was taking down these enemies that I'd struggled to take down previously. It was I was just punching bigger versions of the other enemies, so it was less engaging combat, right? So yeah, and that
The enemy
expands
design is lacking. You're saying, like, the enemy and the
I feel like
combat.
that. The combat, it comes down to, like, there's a good foundation, but the expansion of that as you go through the game, because it took me like 11 hours to finish it. You'll, like, those big fat demons, you will see those same demons a million times, which in Doom 2016 isn't as much of an issue, because you'll be plunged into multiple combat arenas with a variety of different enemies, and each one would provide a different challenge, right? And the different amounts of them and the combinations of them would create different challenges. Here, you're seeing the same ones over and over, and they are doing the same parry mechanics over and over. So it becomes a checklist.
In the earlier ones, all the Dooms, it felt like to me, again, you were early, so we have to build up to it.
Of course.
But even in the earlier stage, like, you'd be playing 2016 or Eternal, and it felt like you were just in this, like, this enormous arena ballroom of all these different crazy demons that have different attack patterns and different ways of telegraphing their attacks and sizes and health and movement speeds. Here, I didn't get that sense as much, and I think it's a consequence of just the level design not being arena focused enough, and not enough diverse enemies being introduced early enough. Anyway, actually, Tina and I both gotta go. Can I plug something real quick?
Of course.
For people, guys, if you're interested, I'm going to be doing a talk with the Funsmith Club. Jay, maybe you could just throw the link there in the chat. So anybody who's watching, if you want to come hear me talk about some of the lessons that I learned and we learned on the New World team working on the Insurgency series. I'm giving a design talk talking about things that I've learned throughout my career as a designer and how they can be employed on your own projects, or just how they can be employed to improve your game or your project's design in general, or a project's design in general. So come check it out. It's going to be happening tomorrow live at 10 a.m. PT. And if you take a look at the chat, thank you, Jay, just posted it. Go to the Funsmith Club link and say that you're interested, join the Discord, and check it out. We'll be doing it on Discord.
Hell yeah, guys. Go check it out. You can learn a lot. Beautiful.
For
Tina,
sure.
do you have
tomorrow,
anything?
10 a.m.
10 a.m. tomorrow, you fucks.
ET.
Tina, you got anything you want to plug?
Thank you for playing. Nothing really to plug other than, give us feedback in the Discord chat. And
yeah, how'd you like this, right? Like, this is new for us. So we welcome your feedback, everybody who's watching. Leave a comment on YouTube. Leave a comment in the Discord. Join the Discord in the DevHead section. Let us know what you think. This is kind of a new thing for us.
I enjoyed the game.
I
enjoyed the game more because we were talking design over the top of it. I'll be honest. I had more fun playing it alongside you than I did.
As an observer, I liked the game straight up. But I agree with the criticisms, and I agree with some of the weaknesses. I think there's a lot of areas that could have been improved if they had more time,
and I'm sure the devs know this as well.
I don't know.
Like, it's always going to be something they're aware of. It'd
be so cool if we get one of them on. Yeah,
I know, right? So to quickly sign off, because I know these guys need to go. If you enjoyed this dive, I have like a 17-minute video essay on this coming out on Monday, so you can hear all of my thoughts in a more eloquent, scripted sense on a Monday. And we've got Adventurers Night tomorrow. And all of the streams and all of the things. Thank you so much for being in chat. We really appreciate you guys. I'm sorry I couldn't pay too much attention to chat because I was playing and trying to host at the same time. But we appreciate you, and we'll speak to you guys next time.
Bye. Later, guys. Bye-bye.